What's good there, guys? What's good? So our network was kind of killing us there. The network is kind of killing us. I think the Wi-Fi went out for a couple of minutes, but hopefully it's all good. Hopefully we're all good. What I'll do is let's just get started there, guys. Let's just get started. And yeah, let's get started, guys. Let me just my headsets. Share some screen so that you guys can see what's cooking. Okay. Hey guys, okay, let's just check the chats there. Are you guys there in the building? Can you guys see the screen? Can you guys hear me? Okay, wait, I didn't start sharing the screen yet. Just waiting for something there in the chats, guys. Come on. Once we're all good, then we'll get started, guys. Then we'll get started. Saying all good so much for that update. Just making sure that all is well. Cool, so let's get started, guys. We're looking at the DXY here. So basically DXY, we can observe basically some level of structure or whatever the case is here on our right hand side. Yes, we're being extremely bullish coming to area, but obviously if we are bullish, extremely bullish towards a little bit reactive to the price action, and then obviously anticipate that reversal structure before we assume that prices are maybe going to continue on some sort of a bearish trend in that area over there. Let me just disconnect my mouse just so that I can use my trackpad, because I'm kind of hosting in the storeroom here, so it's a bit difficult. But otherwise, let's just get to cracking. So basically from a daily chart, guys, we can see that we've got this ascending structure. We know that ascending structures normally break to the downside. You can also see that we're being downside. You can also see that we're being kind of impulsive and we've just violated this ascending structure to the upside. But we've also got some points of interest where we could be expecting maybe momentum. You can see about the dollar index is that the dollar index kind of is already moving. So we're actively on the move right now. And you guys know that we don't trade markets that are actively moving. We wait for markets to enter some sort of a consolidating phase just so that we can be able to get in, because we want to trade these corrective structures in preparation for that next momentum. So what we're going to be looking at, anticipating, is for the next momentum to come in. So which areas will we be looking at? We will be looking at basically these resistance areas up here where we can expect that sell biased momentum to come in from. And then I guess other than this resistance up here in this area here, the next kind of an entry get is if decelerating or doing some sort of price action to allow us to then start to look for those sell bias trading opportunities. then we will do that, guys. But otherwise, we've got this resistance area there. Prices are being still fairly impulsive, so we need to wait for price action to confirm that, yes, we can begin to start looking for sell bias trading opportunities from these resistance areas up here. But nonetheless, I am still bearish on the DXY. Yes, we've got this nice momentum to the upside, but I'm either going to be bullish if we do see some price action that warrants us to be bullish, or otherwise I will keep to my bearish bias. So obviously we've got previous resistance that prices have broken above. And if we corrective back towards this previous resistance area, then that can warrant us to be bullish for now. But otherwise, with the information that we currently got, I feel like it's a lot more safer for me to be bearish bias on this pair because of the higher time frame structure that I have and because of where prices are running to. The only thing that's kind of a deterrent right now is just how prices are coming towards this resistance area. But otherwise, we're still bearish bias based off the higher time frame structure. We either wait for price action to confirm our bias, or we wait for new price action to develop so that we can have a different bias. So that's our DXY. DXY, we're going to be a little bit sell biased. Let's get into our pairs, guys. Let's get started with some Aussie CAD. So guys, Aussie CAD is going to require some patience from us, just basically because we are currently moving right now. But we've got this nice high time frame descending structure there, expanding descending structure that has broken to the upside. You guys can see that we have also completed this nice expanding descending structure at the 90% level of the structure. We've also got this nice point of interest over there, which we were waiting for our sell biased trading opportunities from. Now, basically, because we've got this nice momentum to the upside that has been violating these previous resistance areas up there nice and impulsively, what we will be waiting for is for that bullish continuation. Because we have our impulse, what we're simply waiting for is for our to be, or rather to allow us to kind of jump into the bullish momentum. So what we'll be waiting our point of interest. Obviously, this is our first point of interest. We're not looking to add size in this area, but if we do get a reversal from this area, we will be looking for that bullish continuation. Otherwise, guys, this is the first area where we are looking to add size. And obviously, if the setup fails from this area here, this is the last area where we're looking for those bullish trading opportunities. So all we're doing is we've got our point of interest. We know which directions we're looking to trade. We're looking to be bullish on this pair. So what we need to do is just wait for this corrective structure to pull into these areas of resistance. Obviously, these points of interest, we will be able to find our bullish continuation trades. If you're asking yourself, how did I get these points of interest over there? I was on a lower time frame because we always need time frame, middle time frame, lower time frame. And during the week, our higher time frame is the 4 hour, which we derive our directional bias from. Our points of interest time frame is our 1 hour. So we're always looking at that 1 hour. And then obviously we want to trade in 1 hour points of interest, whether it's a 1 hour resistance or support trend line, whether it's a 1 hour horizontal resistance or support or supply and demand, doesn't really matter. But the 1 hour functions for us to get those points of interest. And that's kind of what we're observing over here. We're just kind of looking for where do we see the momentum coming into this bullish move to the upside. We see some momentum coming in over here. Then obviously we see some momentum coming in over here. And the first bunch of momentum, basically the origin of this move to the upside, happened over here. So this is kind of why this is our last point of interest. This is where we're willing to add size. And this is where we're looking for our first entry. So in terms of risk, when we're looking for entries on this pair, we're obviously going to be managing risk according to how many entries we can see for ourselves. We can see 3 different entry areas. So obviously we'll divide our total risk on this one setup by 3, just so that we make sure that we are taking appropriate risk in each point of interest. And then obviously our risk to reward ratio will carry us through. So that's, guys, our nice bullish bias on Aussie CAD. We'll go on to some AJ. But just before we speak about AUDJPY, let me just go through the chats there and see what you guys are saying, just in case maybe there's any questions. So I see there, okay, see King Wizzy there. Haroon Forex is saying in the building. What's good there? Black Market FX is also saying he's in the building. Nice to have you there. I see Victor there. Happy Monday. Good to have you, man. Nice to see you there. Nice to see you. I see Centelha. Oh, I hope I'm not butchering that name. But otherwise, I see there, he's saying all good, people. All good. What's good? Welcome there. Otherwise, guys, let's continue with our analysis. We're going on to some AUDJPY now. Cool. So on AJ, let's just go maybe up to, or let's just scroll out just so that we can see the time frame structure. So if we look at this pair higher time frame, we've got some momentum to the downside, and okay, we'll just wait to load. There we go. We've got some momentum to the downside, and we've got obviously this nice corrective structure over there. How we know momentum is to the downside, price went down a lot faster than we took to actually make this move to the up, this corrective structure over here. So obviously we can see momentum is to the downside. We've also got, excuse me, this nice corrective structure. We've got a first touch there, second touch in and around this area, and then obviously you guys can see this is our third touch region. What we also have is a nice point of interest there. We're obviously asking ourselves, in this momentum to the downside, where do we see that momentum shift happening? And then obviously if we just pull up, or if we just zoomed into this price action over here, we would see right here, there is obviously a nice big bearish engulfing candlestick. Right here, we have this nice big bearish engulfing. We have a green candlestick followed by that bearish engulfing, which obviously shows us that in this nice move to the downside, where did a bunch of these sellers come into the market? They came in by this momentum shift here, this nice bearish engulfing. So we're basically just using that to increase our probabilities. We're asking ourselves, okay, cool, where did previous sellers show interest? Where did they come in? They came in from here. So more often than not, if price does come back into this price region, I was trying to find the right thing. If price does come back into this price region, then obviously we could find that nice bearish reaction from there in this price region over here. So this is kind of a little bit at size, or whatever the case is, to the downside. So already from our 4 hour, we know that we want to be bearish bias because of this high, and obviously the overall narrative on this higher time frame. So let's just go down to the H1. We'll observe a little bit of structure, find a couple of region over there. So all I've done for myself, a nice resistance over there, and my eye already focused on look for those sell bias trading opportunities. Already I know as long as I'm up area, I'm going to be looking for my reversal structure. As long as we're above this resistance area, we wait for reversal structure. Obviously, before we look to jump into the trade. Once price action breaks below this area, then obviously we look for that continuation structure, capitalize momentum. So simply enough, reverse continuation structures below this resistance area. Our directional bias is bearish. This is our point of interest where we're looking to add. Otherwise, the one part that is missing from this equation is that when, or at least price is in our entry area right now. But obviously, what we need to be waiting for is we need to wait for that reversal structure first, so that we know exactly where to look for our candlestick confirmation to trigger us into the trade. So obviously on that 15-minute, on that smaller time frame, first of all, waiting for a nice, beautiful reversal structure before you look for your candlestick confirmation, just so that your entry is much more refined than basically just what price action is printing now. So we're nice and bearish bias on AJ, our point of interest. We know exactly what our entry criteria is, that chart pattern followed by the candlestick confirmation. All we need to do is just watch the price action just so that we can execute when needs be. So let's go on to some. I just want to, when I just press back on, I had some jazz listen. I was listening to some jazz there. And when our network went, the jazz paused. So I just wanna quickly, I like to get into a certain headspace where even while I'm talking, I'm literally listening to myself talk. It's like I'm really thinking about what my processes and allowing whatever's in my subconscious to kind of just show itself forth. And I'm literally listening to what I'm saying while I'm talking to you guys as think, Tramayne, oh, you're looking for a sell bias here. You see double tops and liquidity there. So I'm kind of just also learning from myself, and I like to be in this flow state. So let me just allow. I think there's an issue with our. Let me just. I see that Tapela saying in the building. What's good there? Tower TGL. Money making Mondays. Our doctor. What's good there? Tower TOL. I see Mary there saying, can you please analyze US30 when you're done? Definitely US30 is one of the pairs that I've got a very nice directional bias on, and as well as some very nice points of interest. So I'm also just as excited as you to get into US30, because US30, I guess the pairs that I have today, because a lot of them are already moving, they're going to require a little bit of patience for me. But US30 is currently in a corrective structure. So I'm going to really thoroughly enjoy finding a trading opportunity on US30, because we are in a corrective structure, and that's an environment that I like to trade. I like to be trading these corrective structures. just so that I can prepare myself or I can involve myself in the market before the next momentum comes into play. Geez, I don't know what the hell is going on. Why is YouTube absolutely not working right now? Okay, I guess if YouTube is not working, guys, if YouTube is not working, we'll just call it what it is. We'll let it be. I'll just try and use some SoundCloud. If SoundCloud does not work, then I guess I'll just have to continue to analyze without any music in my ears. Hopefully it's not working. Things are not working because of the network. But otherwise, if we're all good, then let's just continue. Yeah, let's just continue. Cool. I won't let this music stop me or slow me down. Let's just continue. So what we have here, higher time frame on SUSI, and obviously if we look at this, the structure higher time frame, we've got a nice beautiful ascending structure, and then obviously we were looking at some potential shoulders, but obviously our necklines weren't really aligning. Nonetheless, we saw some resistance being created in this area over here. We saw prices breaking above this resistance, breaking back below. Naturally, we're looking at prices to react from this resistance area, because we can see that prices are being corrected around resistance area by violating and breaking obviously back below the structure. So hence why we were looking for some nice sell bias trading opportunities. We obviously then further analyzed and said that pretty much sideways, looking at there and extreme support area down there. Once we see market moving sideways, there will never ever be an occasion where we're looking to trade like market or look to mention like something that will be a very nice trade. Never ever. Anytime we see market making equal highs and equal lows, we already know selling probabilities from the high of the range, buying probabilities from this process of us doing top-down analysis. And I say, oh, on our higher time frame, we're looking for a directional bias. And on our middle time frame, we're looking for just or areas of value or whatever. And on our lowest time frame, we're looking for entry criteria. That for you to obviously, one, you need to know what environment you're trading in. What environment you're trading in, to find these chart patterns, I mean directional bias and point of interest. Obviously, to find these things, we use our chart patterns, we use our what market structure, we use those same. So this basically like it confirms to us, or rather we find that one piece of information as to what environment are we currently trading in. Are we moving sideways? Are we trending? Are we heading for a reverse, to a continuation structure? What environment are we trading? Are we currently in an impulsive phase? Are we currently in a corrective phase, maybe preparing for the next impulse? These things will give us that piece of information, so that when we're trading, we only need two pieces of information. We need to know what environment we're trading, and then obviously we need something to tell us, okay, go find your trade there and then enter the trade in time. And we know that using these things is going to give us obviously that confirmation as to what is the nature of the market that we're currently trading. And then obviously these things are the things that are our which direction we're going to trade in that direction, and then we need to get into the trade. And so once we have these two pieces of information, then we're good, because now we've put the environment we're trading, and we understand of making direction we want to trade, where we want to find that trade, and then obviously we allow the nature of price action on our lowest time frame to give us our entry criteria. It tells us that, okay, now is the time for you to actually press buy or to actually press sell on this position. So obviously we already, once we use these concepts like market structure, charts and whatever, we already have a plan going in, because we know what environments do we trade. We trading corrective structures, waiting for the next impulsive move. So obviously, if market is in a sideways moving market or whatever the case is, we're looking for that next corrective structure to indicate to us which direction the momentum is going to come in. Because remember, in the center, okay, I thought the network just killed us there. But I'm glad we're back. But otherwise, it's pretty much clear that obviously price action is towards or somewhere around about in the center of this extreme resistance and in this extreme support. And you guys know that if we're in the center of the range and price action, or rather if price action is at the center of the range, we we're going to get 50-50 probabilities trading inside of the range unless we find a structure that gives us slightly better probabilities. Otherwise, we always want to look to trade at the extremes of the range, selling from the high, buying from the low. So looking at the structure over here, obviously we can already see that momentum has started pushing to the downside. So what we need to wait for to obviously be able to get into any trading opportunity is for a corrective structure to form, whether it's a corrective structure that allows us to look for another buying opportunity, as much as we don't want to buy higher time frame. If price action what look for a buy, we're going to be at the low of the range, and obviously we will have to adjust and buy if price action warrants us to buy. Obviously, just maybe managing risk, because we know that long-term or higher time frame, we don't want to align ourselves on the bullish side of things, because we're also looking at which direction can we maximize on our returns. And obviously we can see that we can maximize on our returns in terms of selling, because of the higher time frame. We've got this higher time frame ascending structure that can break to the downside. So obviously we know that we want to align ourselves to the downside. And so for us to do so, what we need is a corrective structure that allows us to continue to sell into whatever sell bias momentum might come into the market. So what we're going to be waiting for here, simple enough answers here, is we're either going to wait for a continuation structure. As you guys can see, I've got a nice point of interest up here. Obviously, the next point of interest is at the high of this range. So this previous, you guys can see this previous resistance area over here, the prices have broken above and broken back below. And obviously we can come back up to retest this previous resistance area. That's the resistance area where I'm going to be looking to add size, where obviously I'll get my best probabilities and risk to reward ratio for the move to the downside. Otherwise, the only other thing that will trigger me into a nice selling opportunity is if, guys, I'm not sure if the network is bugging with me, or is it just my own network on my side? But I don't see anything moving. So let me just let me just see what's going on there. Can analyze yesterday. Good morning. Can you please analyze yesterday? Okay, cool. Guys, I'm not comfortable continuing. I don't see. Just wait to make sure that the network is okay, rather than talking and not being sure. I think the network is back. The network is. I can hear you guys. I can see everything is okay. I feel comfortable and continuing. Now let me just read the questions in the chats. Forecast on gold. So I'm not looking at gold this week, and I don't think I'll be looking at gold for a while. Bless you, dog. I appreciate that, Alvin. I've heard people say always takes one. So, I mean, if you're feeling, I don't know, inspired or feeling like there's a way forward from the analysis, then it's only just because of your perspective and your point of view, man. I've got nothing to do with that. It's just your own judgment that's being shown. Someone is benefiting from the analysis. Thanks. So I see there, Michaela Jack is saying mornings. What's there? Misha. Oh, sorry. I misread the name there. Blue Monday winning streak from. I see Penati saying good morning. Velisa saying, yo, Russia blocked your YouTube. And Jonette is cracking there. Cece is also cracking up. Also saying, yeah, the network is bugging. Yeah, but we just hard and new. Or once we're below the support over here, we're not going to be looking for any cells in this resistance and obviously the 9% rule. We want to see even above this resistance over here, or at least coming above this new resistance, so that we can look for our sell opportunities up high, because we want the probabilities and we want the risk reward ratio as well. So we still sell biased answers here. We'll obviously just see how that develops. I've got New Zealand dollar CAD over here. New Zealand dollar CAD, okay, we're going to be a little bit bullish bias, just a little bit. So looking at the higher time frame structure, obviously we've got this nice descending structure there. We know descending structures normally break to the upside. If we just look at the most recent price action over here, and this is the structure that we've been making a lot of our decisions based off, it's just the smaller structure inside over here. If we look at the smaller structure, obviously we see prices faked out to the downside. We came back into structure, retested, we see momentum to the upside. We see a nice continuation structure of our previous support over there. We've got that nice bounce, more continuation to the upside. So obviously we want to follow through on whatever bullish momentum we see currently in the market. And so because price action is kind of being, or is currently in an impulsive phase right now, what we need to